guys? Welcome back to the third half. And today, as you can see on screen, we're going to be doing best under 23 Premier League players, and we have a bracket to see who's the best. So we have 16 of the best under 23 Premier League players who I've chosen, and we're just basically going to put them through to see who's the best one. So
All
let's get
right,
started, shall we, boys?
go. Yep.
All right. So our first one, Evan Ferguson or Lenny Yoro.
Well,
This is an easy one.
Evan Ferguson's on loan at Roma, so
I don't know if Evan Ferguson should be in this list. I
yeah.
think this is an easy Lenny Yoro
Well,
because
either
he's been
way,
amazing.
Yoro's been playing well. Man United
Yeah.
defense it's had holes, so I think Yoro to go through.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking with that Ferguson pick, but he was pretty good a couple years ago. Streets won't
yeah,
forget
He was at Brighton, yeah.
yeah, Brighton, he was excellent. But Lenny Yoro is one of the best up and coming defenders,
Yes.
I'd say.
yeah, yeah.
Like in a struggling, actually no, Man United are not really struggling anymore. But like in a half trash United team, he's one of the standouts in defense.
Yeah, I really
Yep.
wanted Yoro to come to Liverpool like a year ago, and he
hmm
would have been really good at Liverpool. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's really good.
All right. So now next one, maybe another easy one, but I have to say it. So Archie Gray or Morgan Rogers.
This
Um,
isn't an
Well,
easy one.
it's not
well,
easy, but Morgan Rogers has been much more on form and
I
is
yeah.
I think
struggling first.
I
Archie
think it
Well,
Gray
does go
is
to I think it
yeah.
goes to Morgan Rogers, but Archie Gray, he's really
he's been
underrated.
good
He's
in the Tottenham
he's
defense,
so
yeah,
good.
100%. He can work
I
in
feel like
midfield. He got his goal. He got his first goal for the club like a few weeks ago, and I think yeah, like Jim said, he's very underrated.
I
But
feel like
yeah.
he's been too much of a liability though. Like seeing here, he's 64 percentile defensive contributions, 33 percentile aerial duels won, 44% uh like touches. So his stats aren't anything incredible. If you watch him play, he creates space and he's a solid defensive mid who's only 19, which is crazy to think about. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Look,
agree.
he plays really mature for me. Like
Yeah.
watching him
Yeah.
play, he looks like he's been playing for a long time.
Yeah,
100%.
but Morgan Rogers, on the other hand, like he's an explosive winger who's carrying Aston Villa this season. I'd say Villa's success is only because of him, right? If he wasn't playing well, then Villa probably won't play well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah,
all the time, like all the goals that Ollie Watkins scores, most of them come from really good balls from Rogers or McGinn. So yeah, like you said, Rogers is definitely that pivot in the midfield that can play out.
yeah. Maybe Rogers hasn't been what he was last year so far, but he has been pretty insane. He's played basically every minute this season. Yeah, he's carrying Aston Villa to a top four spot so far, and it looks like they might actually end with that, which is
Yeah.
incredible. So I think we pin down Morgan Rogers.
Yep.
Mhm. The next one
Okay, now
was
moving on. Now moving on to Cole Palmer versus Nico O'Reilly. So Nico O'Reilly, 20 years old, left back, exploded onto the scene for City this season, right? But
yeah.
Cole Palmer has been doing
Yep.
it for quite a few years for Chelsea, their star boy.
Hmm.
Let's start with Jimmy. What are your thoughts on this?
Look, I think this is a pretty straightforward Cole Palmer, but I do think Nico O'Reilly has been great this season. Like he's filled in really well at in the defense for City. So I do think he would have probably stood a chance against someone else like Lenny Yoro, but since he got matched up with Cole Palmer straight away, I think he probably gets out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Michael?
I was gonna say, like, if you're looking at this season, then maybe O'Reilly has like a pretty good chance of beating
Yeah.
Palmer. But overall, like you said, Palmer's proven himself in the league for over 3, 4 years. But credits to O'Reilly, like Jim said, he's played a really
Yeah.
vital role in the City defense. And you saw the injuries we have, and kept being able to play him, knowing that he can be a more of a leader than the likes of Mukasa or like Makadu. So like even younger players, he can teach them, which is really nice to see. But yeah, I think Cole Palmer for now.
Also, the fact that Palmer's missed half the games this season, while Nico O'Reilly's basically started everyone for City says something,
Yep.
but Palmer's still got it,
Yeah.
so we're gonna pick him. And do you guys think that Nico O'Reilly makes the England World Cup squad?
I hope he does. He's one of the standout left backs, along with like Nico Williams, maybe.
Look,
I
I
can't
think
really think of any left back.
we just have to wait and
Mm.
see what happens in the back end of the season. If there's any like
Yeah,
injuries to any of the starting left backs, then he might have a chance of like getting a spot.
Yeah, I think
hope he
he's been on
does.
form. I think he has a nice chance. But next one, the Chelsea Brazilian star boy who's come in, Esteval versus Connor Bradley, the Scot, who's been at Liverpool for quite a few years now. So, Jimmy, Liverpool fan, start us out.
Look, I think Conor Bradley has made a really good name for himself ever since that one season where he filled in for Trent and played like extremely well for that whole season. I do feel like after that one like adrenaline-filled season, he has like dropped off. Although he has like established himself in the first team, I do think he hasn't reached the levels that he did in the first season. But I also do think Esteval has been a little underwhelming at Chelsea. Although he's a massive prospect, I think he can do a little bit more.
Yeah,
Michael?
I would agree with that. Like Esteval, he's 18 years old, right? So him being able to, have the confidence like you saw in games to be able to run at very experienced defenders, and he got a goal and an assist. And like Jim said, maybe a bit underwhelming, but still, he's just 18. So I feel like there's a lot of prospect for Esteval. And on the terms of Connor Bradley, like you said last season, had a feeling for Trent, did a really good job. And I feel like Bradley, he's overall a pretty solid defender, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was actually surprised that Conor Bradley has played so many minutes for Liverpool this season because of Frimpong's injuries and him playing right wing. But I think we're giving it to Esteval, right?
yeah, maybe. I feel
Yeah.
like Esteval has a lot more potential than Conor Bradley in the long
Yeah.
term.
Like Palmeiras, he was 37 games, 12 goals, 5 assists. Season before, he was like 16, 45 games, 15 goals, 10 assists, which is
Yeah,
pretty insane because the Brazilian league is not an easy league by all means. At Chelsea, he's been a little bit underwhelming in the Premier League, but Champions League, he's really stepped it up, and I think he's a big game player, which is what Chelsea need. So let's
yeah.
get to Esteban. All right, next up, Lucas Bergvall versus Kobe Mainoo. Obviously, Mainoo hasn't played that much this season because Amarin hasn't really liked him, but Lucas
Yeah.
Bergvall has been playing and starting consistently in a poor Spurs side.
Yes, I think Mainu, all the 12 appearances he's made has all been a sub, so he's never started the season, which is I think is pretty shocking because Mainu is a really standout player. You saw him in the Euros last year.
Yeah.
He was really good. I don't know why Amrin didn't play him. Like again, I think if Kobe Mainu was a regular starter, he'd be, one of the best like young prospects the league's seen in quite a long time. So yeah.
Honestly, I don't think
Yeah.
it's crazy to say that Man United don't deserve him because he was when he exploded onto the scene, he was one of the best youngsters that
Yeah.
like England has seen, one of the best defensive mids, right? And then he's just getting no game time, or he's getting really little, like you were saying, few minutes at the end of these games. And he was looking for a loan at the start of the season, but Amarim said he's gonna fight for his place. He's gonna stay in the squad, but it hasn't seemed like that. But now he's good, so let's see if he gets minutes under the new interim manager, Michael Carrick, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Jimmy, what are your thoughts?
I want to talk about Lucas Bergvall for a bit because I do think he has gone under the radar as one of the youngsters in the Premier League. For Tottenham, I think starting like most games under Frank, and he started many games under Ange Postecoglou with all those injuries. I think he's played really consistently, although he's not up to that level I think they need him to be. He's a bit rash sometimes. But yeah, I think it's a pretty even matchup because Kobe Manu has fallen off a little bit at this season, but I do think he might edge Lucas Bergvall.
Yeah, to be honest, this is really close for me. I think Bergvall, he's more all-rounded, but his still his like ball playing ability isn't there yet to the
Yeah.
likes of like Adam Wharton and stuff. So I
Mhm.
think he's still got years of development, yeah, and that's good because he's only 19. Manu's
If
20, but yeah,
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if Mainu played the amount of minutes that Bergvall played this season, I
it
don't
would have
think it
been
would
much
be.
better.
And yeah,
No
Yeah,
debate.
it wouldn't be
Yeah.
close, but look, I think Bergvall starting like most games, but I do think he's missing that one thing that adds him another level above Kobe Manu.
So we're picking Kobe Manu.
I
yeah,
would pick
just
Manu.
just
Yeah,
about yeah,
Yeah, Kobe Manu does not deserve the hate from United.
yeah,
Next one of the more developed youngsters on this page, Ryan Gravenberch, basically starting every game. I know you're a big fan of him, Jimmy, versus
yeah.
Wilson Oliver, the explosive winger who has replaced Brendan Johnson on his leave to Crystal Palace, and he's been really crucial for
yeah.
Spurs this season. So, Jimmy, what are your thoughts on this? And is it just clear Gravenberch or?
I think it is a pretty clear Gravenberch, not taking anything away from Wilson Odobert and his development, but I do think Gravenberch has turned into one of the top DMs when he's in form in the Premier League. I do think this season he has dropped off a bit in Arne Slot's side, along with most of the other players, but I do think when he is like in his form, he can be like really good, and he's good at breaking the lines, dribbling to defense, and like progressing the ball from the defense to the attack.
Michael?
Yeah. Again, I think Gravenberg takes a win here. And I think last season you saw Arne Slot came in as manager, right? And then they didn't have really like a sort of, a really good DM that they had like they used with like Fabinho or like, like another player. But, like you said, Gravenberg steps up. he played exceptional last season. I think one of the main reasons they won the title, along with Salah that season, was because of Gravenberch's holding play between the defense and the attack. I think Otto Bear, like he's getting the minutes, but he's a bit underwhelming, right? He's just got one assist in 19 appearances, so I think he can definitely ramp it up. And again, these are all youngsters who can develop into great players, but just on form that they've given and the evidence that's been shown, I think Gravenberch takes the win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Odegaard is 2 years younger, but his stats are really, really underwhelming. He's can play on both wings, but he's been like bottom half percentile for every single stat, which is kind of crazy. And Gravenberch has dominated the Premier League. Last year, I think he was in my team of the season, if I had to choose,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Him and
100%.
McAllister in the midfield, like
definitely.
insane. So I think we just go Gravenberch.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's move on to the next one. Ethan Nwaneri versus Adam Wharton. We haven't seen much of Nwaneri for Arsenal so far, but Adam Wharton
Yeah.
has been one of the key starters, a key to uh, Crystal Palace's FA Cup success last year, and he is one of the best playmakers, centre mids of the whole league. So, what are your thoughts, guys?
Well, I
Oh,
think
yeah, good.
Ethan Waneri, he's really young. He's like a really good talent. Last season, he played a pretty, not a massive role, but he did play a role in Arsenal's title charge. He started 11 matches and scored 4 goals, getting 2 assists. But I do think Adam Warden is like, he's more round out. He's more consistent with his performances with Palace.
Yeah,
Michael?
I'd agree. Again, like you said, Ranieri definitely played more minutes he did last season than this season has been really used. Maybe because of, all the transfers that Arsenal have made in the summer. Like they've signed 3 or 4 new wingers. And again, like you said, Wharton's one of the best, ball playing midfielders in the Premier League currently. And for him to be still under 23, it's pretty impressive. So I think Wharton takes it.
Yeah, Ethan Nwaneri had a big role last year. You're right. He played like 30 something games, and he was kind of the main man for Arsenal when Saka and Odegaard were out.
Yep.
But now with the transfer of Eze, he's played barely. And Adam Wharton, he's still 90th percentile for chances created, and he is pretty ridiculous. And it is great to see him watch. But do you guys think he starts for England at the World Cup?
Adam Warden or Nwaneri?
Adam Wharton.
Look, I think England's midfield is pretty stacked with Rice, Bellingham, all of those big names.
Foden,
I
Saka,
do
they were. Hmm.
I do feel like he would, if he did play in England squad, he would be more of a rotation squad player. Maybe like the last 10, 20 minutes of a game.
I'd
But
say, yeah.
I do
Oh,
think it's just a bit stacked in the midfield.
I was gonna say Wharton's definitely on the plane, 100% he's gone, but
Yeah,
not sure about a regular, not sure about like a starter, just because of England's strength in the midfield. But yeah,
I think it depends on how the rest of the season goes. I think that
Yeah.
last spot is between him, Bellingham, like two of either Bellingham, Foden, him, and Elliot Anderson, probably.
Yeah, I
All of
was
them,
going to
two of
say
them are
Elliot
going to start
Anderson.
because Rice is basically locked in.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah,
but
Rice
yeah,
has to be.
Adam Ward fighting for the England squad, big player. Now we have our last one of the round of 16, Hugo Ekitike. We know Jimmy's a big fan of him, and Miles Lewis-Skelly, who hasn't played as much, but has still played a big role. Coming on for Calafiori and being the title leaders right now. So let's start off with Michael. What are your thoughts on this one?
Like Jim's, love for Ekitike. There's a reason for it. Ekitike, I think, has been one of Liverpool's best players this season, and it has been a drop off from their insane title win last season under Arne Slot. I think Ekitike has come in really well. He's come in, he's played well. He's scored goals, he's got assists, and I feel like he's had a major part in the Liverpool. They aren't out of the title race, but their ability to still be in or around to the top six is a reason that Ekitike has been so good. And on the contrary, I think Lewis Skelly, he's made 14 appearances. Again, not as many as he was last season, mainly because I don't think the Arsenal defense really need a change. Like Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber when they're fit is a pretty strong defense. And Lewis Skelly's played minutes when Calafiori's either got injured or Timber's gotten injured. So just currently, I think, Ekitike being able to perform as the number one Liverpool striker for such a big club and still be under 23, I think it's Ekitike.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Look, I think both have been playing really well this season, whether it's like a substitution or starting the match. But I think without Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool would be in a completely different spot right now. Like you saw when he was injured for like 2 games, they got a nil or draw and they drew to Fulham 2-2. So I think without Ekitike, they're missing something like a clinical finish or his playmaking ability. And you've seen it against Barnsley. He got 30 minutes off the bench and straight away got an assist and a goal, partnered with Wirtz. So I do think he might be a bit better than Lewis Skelly at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. One thing I want to say is Ekatike has 39 shots this season on 6 XG when he has 8 goals. So he's attempting a crazy amount of shots, which I kind of like. A lot of these are coming from outside the box on the right-hand side, and it's working. Although he's missed a few sitters this season, he's taken over Isak as the starting striker, which is not a small feat at all, right? And
Yeah.
he's coming from Frankfurt, I think, and he's
Yep.
been the main man for Liverpool. Lewis Skelly has been kind of underwhelming because he got injured a couple times and Calafiori has taken over his starting spot. But he's still playing all right and he's got a long way to go as he's still young, only 19. So we give it to Ekatike, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to the quarterfinals. We got a matchup of Lenny Yoro versus Morgan Rogers. Michael.
Um, this might be a bit harder. I would still give it to Rodgers just because, I think he's on, 7 goals, 4 assists this season. And like we said before, he's Aston Villa. You could say he's Aston Villa's main man. Like, he's a
100%, yeah.
reason, he's a reason why, Watkins gets through with the goals. They're throwing through balls, getting crosses in. And like Lenny Yoro has been, one of Man United's best players, I think, in defense. And he's very young as a centre back. And I think he's dealt well with it. But just on the attacking threat and the creativity that Rogers brings, I think Rogers just about edges it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I think, I think Lenny Yoro is a massive talent. Maybe in like, he might be a world-class centre back in the future, but I think Morgan Rogers right now is levels above Lenny Yoro. He's just carrying Villa, who's a massive team right now, into fourth place, maybe into a Champions League spot. And I do think he has the edge over Lenny Yoro.
Okay, see, my problem with Yoro is that, yeah, he does his job and stuff, but he doesn't necessarily make other people better. Like Rogers, as Michael and but you both said actually, Rogers makes everyone around him better. He makes McGinn play better. He feeds a lot of balls to Watkins where he's in dangerous positions, right? He feeds it straight to his feet. And Rogers is an incredible talent, and I think he's on par with some of the best in this bracket. So let's see if he can win.
Yeah.
But Rogers is the consensus, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Rogers influences the game much more than Lenny Yoro can. Even though he is a centre back, Lenny Yoro doesn't really command, and he's not like a game changer that you bring on or you have in your team to help you win.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to two teammates actually, Cole Palmer versus Esteval. One's been injured for the season a lot, and one's just came on and basically replaced him his role in the team. But let's start with Jimmy. What are your thoughts on this one? Is it just a clear Cole Palmer, or is it kind of close?
I think it's a clear-cut Cole Palmer here. Even though Esteval's great, I think Cole Palmer, he's established in the league. He's got the stats to back him up. And I think Esteval, yeah, he's been a bit underwhelming and he's a good like prospect, but he needs to step it up if he wants to be on the same level as Cole Palmer.
Michael?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like I know Palmer, he's had injuries this season, and maybe a bit underwhelming, but Cole Palmer, the name just brings something. He brings goals, he brings assists, he brings playmaking. Linking him playing in a cam position, linking with striker João Pedro, or with his background of Enzo and Caicedo. So, I think again, as we've said before, Esteval is a really good player. He can develop really well, but at this point in time, I'd still take Cole Palmer 100%.
I think when Palmer's on the field for Chelsea, they can beat anyone in the world. Like they have
100%.
a chance against anyone because he just feeds balls to Pedro, feeds it to the wingers. Like he's unbelievable. And even though Esteval is an insane talent and he's playing really good this season, Cole Palmer still takes it.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the next one, which is not a no-brainer, but I think it's pretty clear. Ryan Gravenberch, Kobe Mainu versus Ryan Gravenberch in the quarterfinals. Michael, you can start us off with this one. Is it just clear,
Yeah,
Grav?
I think it's pretty clear. Like even if Mainu played the amount of minutes that Gravenberg's played this season, I'd still go for Gravenberg just because what he's able to do, like Jim said, bring the ball up, feed his teammates, feed the wingers. And I know Mainu definitely has the ability to do that. He has been given the opportunity all the time to do it. But yeah, I think, just on this season alone, I think it's Gravenberg 100%. I don't think there's any doubt.
Jimmy?
Yeah. I just completely agree with Michael. I think maybe if Kobe Manu played more games this season, I feel like he might be on the same level, but he just hasn't played enough. Like you just know that Kobe Manu is not as good as Ryan Gravenberch. He doesn't provide the same like impact that he does. So yeah, I think it's a pretty confident Ryan Gravenberch into the semis.
When Kobe Manu just broke out, he was like way better than Gravenberch, I would say, when Gravenberch just came to Liverpool. But Gravenberch has adapted to the league. He's the best DM in the league. No, he's one of the best actually,
Yeah,
aside Gravenberch,
Rice.
Caicedo and Rice. Yeah. Um, Manu, I really wish he gets more game time because I feel like he should be on that plane to the World Cup, but unfortunately he's probably not going to be just because of his game time, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, Gravenberch takes it. So this, I think, is a very hard one, extremely hard one, actually.
yeah.
Um, Adam Wharton versus Hugo Ekitike. This could probably be a finals matchup, but these are two really, really good players, the most developed on the list, and this season both have been playing really well. So, Jimmy, Liverpool fan, start us off.
This is extremely hard because I know Adam Wharton's been like crazy good this season. He's one of the most pivotal players in Crystal Palace's side, along with like Mark Gahey. So I do think he provides that game-changing ability, that playmaking ability that helps the team grow and stay in the league. And but I do think Ekitike has a slight, very, very slight edge over him. Although that might be Liverpool bias, I do think Ekitike provides something different to the team that I don't think Warden does. He gets those goals. He's not afraid to take on a player. He's not afraid to take a shot. So I think that's a really good quality for a striker to have. And he's not just one of those strikers who gets tap ins. He's one of those strikers who can maybe get the ball on the edge of the box and shoot. And he's effective with it when he does do it. So yeah, I think Ekitike for me is a bit better.
I think this is extremely close for me. Adam
Mm.
Wharton had last year, it would be no debate, right? But this season, it's just been like a little step down against Macclesfield. You saw it was one of the key reasons why Palace lost, and it's he's still one of the best midfielders in the league, and he creates so many chances. But yeah, it might have to be Ekitike to be honest. But Michael, I want to hear your thoughts.
Very similar to both of you. Like Jim said, they're both pivotal and key players to their respective sides. But I'll bring the point I said last time we talked about Ekitike. Like Liverpool from their title win, you saw like a really drop in form from Salah, and hence like a drop in form from the Liverpool team at the start of the season. And again, Ekitike, like Jim said, he's one of those forwards that he gets a tap ins. He knows the right place, the right time to get inside the box to get headers, but he also can play the ball under his feet. He can dribble. He can score from outside the box. And Liverpool still being fourth in the league somehow is all credits goes to Ekitike with because goals win games, and Ekitike is that player that gets the goals. Again, like you said, Wharton is equally, I think, good with the ball playing ability, but just because maybe Palace's table position and some results that they should have got done, being FA Cup winners, Europa League, and
Yeah.
I feel like Wharton. I don't think Palace losing is just because of Adam Wharton, like you said, maybe for Macclesfield, but I do think their table position and maybe winning games they should have won maybe means that Ekitike is just that bit better just currently. But yeah, I go Ekitike just about.
Yeah, I think it's super, super close, and we give the slight edge to Ekitike, but that's only on form. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
Wilson has insane potential ahead of him,
Oh yeah, 100%.
and like he could be England's captain in a few years. His experience, his like demeanor, his aura on the field is just crazy. So
yeah,
yeah.
totally agree.
Now we're in the semi-finals. These are four big name players. Let's start off with Morgan Rogers versus Cole Palmer, and I think this is
Man.
extremely, extremely close. I can't
Yeah.
decipher the two of them. Jimmy, tell us more.
For me, I don't know if anyone will agree with me, but I think Morgan Rogers, for me,
Rogers. Yeah, I
is a
agree.
bit better than Cole Palmer at the moment.
Actually, yeah,
It might be a rogue shout because Cole Palmer's been in the league for maybe one or two more seasons than Morgan Rogers, but I do think Morgan Rogers is that level above him that he's got like that playmaking ability. Although Cole Palmer's good at doing all those things, I think when Morgan Rogers is on his game, I think he's better.
Michael.
Yeah, I'm gonna back Jimmy here. I think just in current form, I just really think Rogers is just a bit better than Palmer. I know Palmer's been injured, and he is proven in the league. They both come out the City Academy, and they're both really good prospects. And you've seen what they've done in the league to their respective sides. But just on form, I think Rogers with with his goals, his assists, and linking the play. I think just a bit more work effort maybe, but yeah, I just take Rodgers. I think.
I think maybe apart from like he's one of the most informed players in the league so far. Morgan Rogers has been insane in the season, and they share the same celebration. They're
Yeah,
probably competing for a place in Thomas Tuchel's England squad for the World Cup, but it's really close. Rogers is probably the better athlete, right? He like
Yeah.
more muscular, more athletic, but Palmer is probably a better dribbler. The playmaking is similar, and their past 20 games shows that Rogers has been more clinical. So I think we give it to Rogers, right?
Yeah, but it's extremely close. Like, there's not much that can differentiate the two.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to the final one before the final. Ryan Gravenberch versus Hugo Ekitike. Two teammates, two of Liverpool's most important players. I think they are the two most important, probably.
yeah.
And
So
they're both in like unbelievable in form this season. Um, Jimmy, Liverpool fan, tell us.
Are we basing this on form right now?
yeah,
Form
I think
potential,
so.
everything.
I think Hugo Ekitike is better than Ryan Gravenberch right now. Although I think when Ryan is in his form, in his zone, he's a much better player. He's like one of the most influential players in the whole of the Premier League. But I think Ekitike, he's managed to dethrone Isaac. He's managed to score like the fourth amount of goals in his whole, I think, in the Premier League this season on 8. So I think he's playing superb this season, and I think he deserves a spot in the final over Ryan Gravenberch.
To be honest, I think I disagree. I think Gravenberch is so important to Liverpool, and although Ekitike has gotten them out of sticky situations this season, Gravenberch controls the game. Like he's like Adam Warden for Palace. He just dictates play. But yeah, Michael, what do you think?
I was gonna say, I agree with both of your sides of your opinions, but it's very hard to compare a defensive mid and a striker
Yeah.
with, potential and everything. Like Jim said, the goals come from somewhere, and that's from Ekitike, and he's been able to, score goals from outside the box. His ball playing ability is really good as well. But like Jake said, Gravenberch is he's the gel of that Liverpool team. Like he binds the defense to the midfield to the attack, and the reason they're able to play the ball to get to Ekitike or get to the strikers is because of Gravenberch's, his play inside the midfield. So it'll be really hard, but I do think Gravenberch just a bit.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you guys that Gravenberch's better, but based on right now, on our form, I think Hugo Ekitike, without them, Liverpool probably wouldn't be in the spot they are right now. And
Yeah.
I reckon with Ryan Gravenberch, he hasn't really been on it this season. He's been all right, but he doesn't have that touch that he had last season, that final like result that he had last season. He still can do all those dribbles, all those like through balls, all those breaking the line plays, but I think Ekitike provides more to the team right now.
Well, Jimmy, let me ask you a question. So last season, I'd say Gravenberch and McAllister were pretty similar. Do you agree?
Yeah, probably.
And this season, Gravenberch has probably surpassed McAllister by a lot.
Yeah, they've both been pretty bad though. I think McAllister has really not picked up his form that he had last
Yeah.
season, and neither has Gravenberch. But I think Gravenberch to a lesser extent.
I feel like Gravenberch still overtakes Ekitike, but
Jim, I do have a question for you. So
Yeah.
last season, Gravenberch was that in the midfield trio. He was the guy. He was, the guy linking the play.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of feeling that Szoboszlai this season, shadows a bit of like, he gives a bit of echo from Gravenberch last season? Like, do you think Szoboszlai is like a player who can develop into like a Gravenberch, but also with the finishing touch of like Ekitike? So I was wondering, I might agree with you in the fact that if Szoboszlai is able to play like Gravenberch plays, then Ekitike is more crucial to the team, I think.
Yeah, I
Just
think
thoughts. Yeah.
Szoboszlai sort of, yeah, as you said, echoes Gravenberch's form last season. But I do think he's more attacking than Gravenberch. He doesn't provide the defensive stability like him. So that's why Gravenberch is like sort of essential for Liverpool. But I do think he's more of an 8, Gravenberch. He's been playing as a 6, but I think he's more of a ball playing 8. So I think even when he's playing out of position, he's still really good. So
Right.
I don't know. We can give it to Ryan Gravenberch if it's majority.
Yeah.
mm,
And so,
yeah, let's go to the Gravenberch.
Yeah.
Um, we have seen a lot of insane names on this list, but it's time for the final. We've got Morgan Rogers versus Ryan Gravenberch. So talk to me, guys. Let's just say, on form right now, Rogers, right? And
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the past last season, it was really close because Rogers was Young Player of the Season. Gravenberch won the league for wait,
No, I
what
think Gravenberch was Young Player of the Year last season.
was he?
Grimes?
Wait, someone check that quickly.
I'm
But
checking.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Rogers for Aston Villa are top four, and Jimmy,
Rogers, yeah.
Rogers?
Rogers was PFA, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, you got to agree that Aston Villa wouldn't be in the spot they are without
Yeah.
Rogers, right?
I'd
But
probably give it to
Liverpool,
Rogers.
yeah, Liverpool, like maybe they wouldn't be as good without Gravenberch, but they could survive like somehow because their midfield depth, they've got Curtis Jones in there, like they have a lot of solid Scousers players, local
Yeah.
growing talents.
Yeah.
So I want to hear it from you guys. Michael, what do you think?
Um, like you said, with the league position, like in Villa started the season winless in nine. We all saw that they hadn't scored a goal in 9 games, and Rodgers picking up that form suddenly. Game week 12, 13. You know, you can see what they've been able to do. Like Villa's currently on like such a hot streak of form. They're tied on points, third with City. So they're basically second in the league. And Rodgers, we've said it so many times. Rodgers, he can link the ball to anybody. He can play to the wingers, he can play to the midfield, he can play to the cam, he can play to the striker. And Gravenberch, he can do the same thing, but just currently on form, I'd give it to Rodgers. Just about, I think.
Yeah, I
Jimmy?
completely agree. I think Ryan Gravenberch, he's great, but as I said before, I think this season he hasn't reached the levels he did last season. And I think Rodgers is more consistent in the fact that he was PFA Young Player of the Year last season, and he probably is this season. So I think he's just carrying over that form from last season, which is really superb.
Yeah, okay. So I think we've decided the winner is Morgan Rogers, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
congratulations.
Congratulations, Rogers. Um, this was extremely difficult, I think. It's
Yeah,
actually insane how many young players
Yeah.
there are in the league. Like this is probably the best under 23 like squad we've had in the Prem
probably.
in
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
Like
It's really
maybe
exciting to see like the future of the Premier League is in
yeah,
the hands of these
100%.
players.
yeah. So
And
anyone else say something else?
I just wanted to add, if I was Tommy Tuchel, Morgan Rogers is 100% on that plane. And, he's a really good chance of starting in the England field. So, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if Tuchel gives the chance to him. He's definitely got the skills, but I don't know if
Yep.
he has the composure, the experience to start in the World Cup. But we shall see for England. To
Yeah.
cap this off, anything else you want to say, guys?
No.
I think they've done pretty well.
All
Yeah.
right, well, up the third
Yeah.
half.
Up
Up
the
to
third
third
half.
half.